Let me first ask you about the general state of the leasing industry at the moment, because we see a huge growth in terms of demand for air travel, but at the same time, we're lacking behind with the deliveries of new aircraft. Some of the manufacturers are struggling, especially with their supply chains. So what is the general state of your business at the moment?
Yeah, well, business, I mean, it's a good market at the moment. Obviously, post the COVID downturn, there's been a very strong recovery around the world. And I think coming out of that recovery, aircraft operators around the world, airlines around the world, recognize the benefits of leasing aircraft. So we're actually seeing a lot of demand for leased aircraft at the moment, particularly for young, new technology, fuel-efficient aircraft, like the A321 behind us.
Yeah, we just witnessed like an avalanche of new orders at the Dubai Air Show, but mostly from the Middle Eastern countries and carriers. What is the state of the industry here in Europe? We see Wizz Air still delivering, still getting new deliveries of new aircraft?
Yeah, no, I think so. I mean, I think the state of the industry is, obviously different regions grow at different paces and there's different dynamics in play. But, the European airline industry has been proved very resilient through COVID. It's recovered well. And you see carriers like Wizz Air have come back strongly post-COVID. And there's, there's still a lot of opportunities, particularly in markets like Eastern Europe and North-South routes, and indeed into the Maghreb and other parts of close to Europe. There's a lot of opportunities for airlines to grow.
Do you see the market recently heating up? What is your backlog in SMBC, for example? And do you have any spare slots for new aircraft?
So we've a large order book of both Airbus and Boeing aircraft. Yeah. Our next available slot is over 2 years away. So, and that would be fairly typical. But and we're now placing airplanes. We've airplanes delivering in 28 and 29 are now beginning to place those airplanes. So demand remains good, particularly for young, fuel-efficient aircraft like the A321. So we see the market continuing to be pretty strong. It's also driven by some of the challenges on the supply side. As you know, there's been challenges right across the piece. Yeah. Both airframers, all the engine manufacturers have had different types of challenges right across the supply chain, and that obviously is constricting supply. And that is for aircraft owners. That means that we have the types of airplanes that people need at the moment.
Yeah. Well, one of the major problems is with these particular engines, the Pratt & Whitney ones, the GTF, the geared turbofan. But recently Pratt & Whitney promised that they're going to handle it by the end of 2026. Do you believe them?
Look, I mean, obviously we're working, they're an important partner of ours in Pratt & Whitney. We're going to work closely with them and hopefully we'll get them, they'll get back on track in the next couple of years, yes.
Coming from Far East Asia, I mean, like the parent company, the Sumitomo Mitsui, do you believe that the Chinese could wrap up with their production of aircraft and become a major player in and then break the duopoly that we have now between Airbus and Boeing in not so
I think that's a pretty long term. I mean, I think certainly that there's a strong possibility of that in the long term. But building aircraft is complex and difficult. Supporting them is complex and difficult. Building the credibility and so I wouldn't underestimate the challenges that they will face. They have one aircraft in manufacture at the moment, the 919. Yeah. But I think you're talking about decades before you see significant change in the market share between Airbus and Boeing.
And one last question, because we're speaking about resilience, fuel efficiency, and so on. Recently, even Willie Walsh, the general director of IATA, said that he doesn't believe anymore into the net zero target that the airline industry had put in front of itself in the next less than 25 years, by 2050. What is your stance on that point?
Well, I think like all industries, aviation needs to look at how sustainable it is and how it's going to change. Aviation is a force for good. It drives economic activity right across the world. It drives a lot of social benefits across the world. So aviation is a good industry. But like all industries, we need to look at how we're going to manage our carbon footprint and our sustainability. I think that is something that can be a change, but it's going to take a lot of time. It's going to take lots of different inputs. It's not just about technology. It's about operational behaviors. It's about things like sustainable aviation fuel. So it's going to be a complex thing, but we need to start. And I think we are starting as an industry, but it's going to take us time to get there.
Yeah, thank you. Well, can you just elaborate what is your portfolio with Wizz Air currently?
Oh, I'd have to check the stats, Alex, sorry. Yeah. I mean, I think it's 36 airplanes in total that we own and finance.
Yeah, we'll be coming up to mid-30s.
Yeah, mid-30s, yeah, mid-30s.